fashion, music, wellness.
And don't forget sex.
Mostly sex.
If it's trending, they'll be talking about it. Trend Radio is right here.
And right now, I'm Anthony Vincent.
And I'm Elise.
And we always have something great to say.
Because it's us. So stay tuned.
You'll be glad you did. Good morning, Elise.
Good morning. How are you?
I am fabulous on this brisk day.
I am fabulous.
Of course, you're always fabulous. And, you know, what an interesting week it's been in history.
Oh, my gosh.
We got
Absolutely.
a lot of...
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that happened. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, a couple of days ago, on the 17th, was the Great American Smokeout.
That's right.
And I am just so proud of my little girlies.
Oh.
Yeah, they didn't smoke for the day. They all went back, but they proved to me that they could actually go a day without smoking. So I'm very proud of them. And then let's not forget about World Diabetes Day. That was on the 14th. Mm-hmm. Diabetes is a terrible, terrible killer, if you will. And I know this because my grandfather had it and my mother had it. Diabetes, very, very bad. It's not what's for dinner.
Well, Elise, you know, over the weekend, I've been going through some of our archives, and I came across some very, very interesting shows that never aired.
I know. I remember.
You remember? And,
Yeah.
you know, I think today...
I think the reason you didn't want to air them is because you weren't in them.
Yeah, that's a possibility. That's a possibility. You know, I do have an ego, but
Yes?
it's a little bitty one.
Is
It's
it?
a little. It's very
It's
little.
got smaller?
Yes,
It's
it
gotten
is.
smaller?
Yes.
Good.
I don't
You're working on
scratch. I don't scratch my ears when I walk through the doorway these days.
You just get your hair stuck on the top of the top of the bit. Okay, whatever.
But would you like to hear them?
You know I want to hear them. Of
Do you think our
course I
audience
do.
would enjoy hearing them?
Personally, I think so because it was three lovely ladies and Mike. And we had a really good time.
It was. Even though I wasn't there,
Yes.
you know, I listened to these and I said, "What a good show." Even though it was without me.
Yeah.
I was a little hurt.
Don't
I have to
be.
say, you know, but I have a tremendous amount of respect for you, and you did such a great job.
Oh, thank you.
So why don't we listen right now?
Okay. So I have such a special guest today. Mike, do you know who my special guest is?
Well, she's standing right in front of me, so
Is she standing or is she
she's
sitting?
sitting right in front of me.
I am
so.
sitting.
It's Cousin Barb.
Cousin Barb.
Is it cousin? I've seen her a couple times in the studio. It's nice to finally get her on a microphone.
Yeah, exactly. So Cousin
In front
Barb.
of the microphone.
Yeah.
Yes, you're on it. You're on the microphone and you know it. You're on it. You're on it. Okay. All right. So Barb,
What?
what are we going to talk about today? What do you want to talk about?
Well, Cousin Elise and Mike, I want to talk about this single thing that's going out there in the internet world.
We should actually talk about this single thing and then help the singles out there.
So they get it better?
I think so.
Because
So
I'm
maybe
not
so they-
perfect. I'm not perfect. I'm not
Okay.
admitting to that. However,
Mike, are you still single?
I don't get it.
Yes, I am.
Okay,
yes,
maybe
I
you'll
am
help
still
him.
single, yeah.
Okay. All right. I'm not single, but it's okay. I could be if I want to be.
Well, you could pretend for this
I could
few
pretend.
minutes.
I'll pretend right now.
You could.
Okay. So I go through all these different sites that are out there. And when we discuss this with my girlfriends who are single, and I show you photographs and I show you comments that are made, I find it amazing the gamut that it goes from.
I have also a lot of clients that are single, and it's amazing to me some of the things that they go through. I mean, like the things they try. Oh my God. And the awful dates that they go on. I've heard of some awful, hellacious dates.
Really?
Yeah, awful.
Can you tell me about one hellacious date that you can discuss?
Okay. So one of the girls that I do her nails, she went out with this guy. She meets him and they're having dinner, and he tells her that he's a minimalist, somebody who just lives very simply. So he doesn't have any TV, which is fine. Okay,
Sure.
I mean, whatever. He doesn't like to go out to eat. He only recently got a phone, and it's for emergencies only. He does not have technology. And I'm thinking, what does he do? You know, I can't even imagine this. Well, anyway, he said that, you know, this is a very difficult thing. This is something he really believes in. So he wants to make sure she understands. It's like his religion. So she was like, I don't know if I could do this, you know, like
Obviously.
she shouldn't have to. So they're not, you know, they had a very nice dinner. She said it was quiet and that was the end of it.
I don't know if I'd call that a terrible date though, because at least he was bored and blunt about his life. It was like they didn't mesh.
You know what? That wasn't a terrible date. You're absolutely right.
But at the
it's
same
like,
time, it stinks because you feel like you wasted your time.
But that's the thing. She spent, you know, a few weeks talking to him.
Oh, okay. I
Communicating
thought that
with
was like
him.
the first time they met. Wow.
A few weeks. No, she waits a little while before she goes on a date. And he never told her anything about it until they met for dinner. There's almost a month there that she wasted.
Yeah, so maybe he wasn't fully blunt and upfront.
Well, he was when
He
she
was
met
when he
him.
met her, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Some of the names are incredibly interesting,
Like
for lack of
what?
a better word.
Like what?
Like, I'm so lonely for you.
Oh, that's the name of their...
Somebody.
That's his little handle?
It could be anybody. It is many handles.
I'm so lonely for you.
I'm so lonely for you. Or
Wait, I'm so lonely for you. 573.
or master of my domain.
Oh,
These
that
are-
says it all.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't touch that one.
I don't know how people level with themselves. I know that when I post, you know, they ask for profiles. They ask you to tell you a little bit about yourself, about your
Sure.
family life, about what your likes, what your dislikes are. And I come across, if you were to read my profile, you'd say,
I
oh my
have
God,
read your profile,
this
and
is
yes,
you.
this is who you
this
are.
is truly who I am.
Exactly.
Why do I do that? It's not full disclosure, but it's like, well, I can go. One of my great lines is I can do white glove or white castle.
I agree
right?
with you. Mm-hmm.
I can wear a black dress, put it with pearls, and you're in a whole different
Place,
place.
absolutely.
You want to hear the funniest thing? A lot of these men who are roughly my age, and I'm in my mid-50s, they ask you, what do you like about your perfect match? I have to say to you, there's no perfect match. It can't be. It's impossible to have a perfect match, and at least what I think.
Okay.
These people say, my perfect match. Well, you need to be perky, this, that, slim, athletic, and if I can't lift you, I don't want to know you.
I love those. But I have to tell you something. You know what's so interesting about that? Most men, and we've had this conversation, Anthony and I have had this conversation, right, Mike?
Yeah, you
Most
actually
men,
gave me, you wanted me to list the qualities of a perfect woman for me.
Exactly.
And I told you I couldn't do it.
But most men, because it doesn't matter. It's a matter of the connection
Yeah,
at
exactly,
the time.
yeah.
But most men that we've come across lately, they don't want a bone. They, you know, I mean, you can lift a bone. Most men want something to hold on to. And you know what? That's okay if these guys are saying, if I can't lift you, I don't want you. The reason you can't lift is because you might be too old, okay? Or you might
too
be
weak.
Or too weak. Okay.
Or too skinny.
Too scrawny. You can't even, that's ridiculous. That's so funny.
But this is what they say. So what? Right away, I look at this thing and I went,
Lift your grandchild, okay?
Yeah, scratch you off the list. And believe me, there's so much pressure. There's so much pressure because from family members are saying, why don't you just go out to dinner with somebody? And I say, I can't. I won't. I don't think it's fair. Why don't I think it's fair? Because
Yeah,
I don't.
why don't you? Why don't you think it's fair? I'm just curious.
Because whether we go Dutch, do they still use that term, Dutch, where two
I'm sure.
people each
Split it.
split
Mhm.
it? If I don't feel that physical attraction via a photograph, then I don't want to sit there and waste. Again, we were talking about wasting time earlier.
Sure. You don't want to waste
your
somebody's time.
Waste my time. It's nice to sit down and have a conversation, but at the end of the day, if you don't think that you can actually, and maybe am I being superficial by just saying
No,
a
I don't
photograph
think-
is what an emotional and an attraction is? Because
I think
when-
that if you speak to somebody, though, it's more important. But you really don't know if there's a connection until you meet somebody. Pictures, they say, you know, don't lie, but that's really not true. I mean, sometimes I know my pictures are always awful. I take the worst pictures all the time.
So
I would
not
hope
true.
I think they
not
are.
true.
And I would hope nobody would always say that, you know, they don't want to meet me because of my photo, because my photo is not always me. But there's just something about meeting somebody and talking with somebody. Now, when you're speaking to somebody, you know if you can have a conversation with them or not. So I don't see that it's a big deal to go out with somebody, and you don't have to do dinner. Coffee.
Coffee.
You
Coffee.
go and have a cup of coffee. It's a couple of bucks. You relax. You have a cup of coffee and you enjoy somebody's company or not.
I always find it interesting too. A lot of them say perfect date. Oh, we could go to a movie. And I'm sitting there going, a movie? What are we getting to know? The people on the screen or each other?
See, that's the thing. You go and you don't know the person. So you go to the movie and then afterwards you go have some coffee and you talk about the movie. And you see if there was any kind of connection. You know, when you're watching a movie, two people can pick out totally different things about a movie. And you see if you mesh a little bit. And if you don't, you never see a movie again. You never have a coffee again with the person. But if you do, you make your own movie.
Yeah.
And that's a cool thing.
Yeah. Make a nice love story.
Exactly.
I also want to know, Mike, do you go on dating sites? I know that you're a lot younger than both of us. Are women as forward guys?
On internet sites?
Yeah.
No.
They're not forward?
I always, well, I mean, they're pretty forward in their profile descriptions, but whenever I message them, like I've done a couple of these for the fun of it, but I try to just be straight up and blunt and, straightforward with them, and then they just kind of say little things here and there, and then they stop talking, and it's like, oh, okay, I guess.
Do you know why they
whatever,
stop talking? No,
Yeah.
no.
Why?
They want you to pick it up again.
Oh, that's the thing. I
Chase.
try to, but I try to chase, but I guess they got to the point where they're just like, okay, whatever. But some of them do talk, but some of them just kind of straight up stop out of nowhere.
Really?
And I'm just like, huh.
You know, I find that to be unbelievable. You're so adorable and you're so sweet. You're smart.
Yeah, I mean, I might throw them off too sometimes because I even put in my profile, like, I honestly don't think an online site is a great way to get to know somebody. So I always say, like, I will let you feel comfortable to the point wherever you want to meet. So if you don't want to meet right away, that's fine. But let me try and convince you to be comfortable so then we can meet, because I would rather do that because in person is so
Sure.
much better.
It is.
How quick do you give out your phone number?
Actually, I usually wait a little bit. It takes me... I've only given out my number twice so far on these sites, and I usually wait till we hold a conversation, like one full conversation. So as long as we can have a back and forth, I'll give you my number. Yeah.
So you want to hear a really condensed version of a story that I very, very, very rarely give out my phone number.
Right, of course.
I just don't, for more than one reason. I like the chatter back and forth, the banter. You kind of get to know the person. This particular gentleman convinced me to give him my phone number.
Okay.
So we connected. I was actually in the car. We were driving, using my Bluetooth, of course, using my Bluetooth. And I was driving. We were having a great conversation. This particular gentleman says to me, you know, you only have one really good picture of yourself on your profile. Well, so do you. He says, yeah, well, that was taken a couple of months ago over the summer. Long story short, he convinces me that he wants to see another picture. And I unwittingly go ahead and send him another picture.
Yeah.
Never heard from him again.
Ouch, ouch.
Yeah.
But and I didn't get it. I thought we had such a great connection over the phone, the conversation, the actual
And you know what I don't
commonalities
get?
were awesome. Truthfully,
What I don't get is, honestly, you're beautiful, and that is ridiculous. And your pictures are
You're my
always beautiful.
cousin.
No. It has nothing to do with that. Your pictures always come out really beautiful.
No, I usually just wait till I have a full conversation with them. But I usually give my number first. Like I do think guys usually should ask for the number and stuff. But we're in a weird age, so I always am like, you know what? I'll give you my number, and that should do the trust. So.
do you know though? To this day, what bothers me more about the fact that I never heard from him again was more that. I just want to know why. Did I offend him? Was the photograph
He's
not?
an obvious idiot.
I don't think you offended him, Barb. I think he might have been seeing somebody else. That happens quite often. I mean, think about these sites. We're talking to multiple
So
people.
he wanted to have her picture and get her phone number, and yet then he goes into nothingness.
Well, yeah, because think about this. The same day that he asked for her picture, he could have been on a date.
Okay, but why couldn't he respond? I think that's horrible.
Well, it is horrible that he couldn't have just said, I'm seeing somebody, or I'm seeing where it's going to work out.
All right, but then why'd you beg me for my phone number and my picture?
It was in a car ride on the way home at 6 o'clock at night. He was not on a date. He was definitely interested. He tells me because of his hours and the job that he has, he goes to bed rather early, which is perfectly fine. Of course, you have responsibilities. I so get that. Let me just let you know. I sent him a picture of me and my beautiful family.
That's what she sent him.
That's what
herself
I sent him.
and
The three boys.
your three boys. I
My
mean,
grandson
gorgeous.
and my daughter-in-law, my future daughter-in-law. by putting that picture out there, I just thought it was a great picture of me, and it would kind of warm things up even more to show him.
Maybe he got scared.
I was going to say the same thing. I mean, why he should be scared of a family? He might have been just wacky. You're trying to make him seem like he was a good guy, but maybe
I truly am.
He
I
probably
truly am,
wasn't.
because of the
family values.
the values that he was saying, that he expressed to me, which is why my rule is I don't send other pictures and I don't give out my phone number until we really connect. And actually, I kept saying, just meet me. Nope, not until I see another picture. Not until I see another picture. So I shared this picture and boom, it's all stopped. Well, to make things even funnier, a few weeks went by and I was able to get somebody to make a phone call because I have this person's phone number, and I sincerely doubt that he's listening. But for all you guys who do listen, the phone call was made because I actually thought he died.
I totally get that.
He just disappeared.
Oh, I've had a disappearing act also.
Right. So
He was. They were talking. They were communicating a lot.
right, prior to the phone call, prior to the second picture, I said, well, if he died, then at least I know he's dead, and then I
Right.
have a good reason to feel, okay, move on.
So what happened with the phone call? So somebody made a phone call for you to see if he was still alive.
Left a message and never got a call.
Nope. He answered the phone, and he was very interested in the other person talking to him. There was a girl.
No.
This is true.
Maybe he liked her voice.
He did. The girlfriend said, it's almost like he doesn't want to hang up from me. I feel like he needs to have a conversation. And she said, no, I'm sorry. I got the wrong number. Thank you very much. Hung up. We both looked at each other. I said, well, at least he's not dead. I felt a lot better.
We just started to laugh.
I think you would have felt better if he was dead.
No, I feel... no, I don't want anybody to die, but
Of course
at the
not.
same time,
Although he's
I
an
still want to
idiot.
know why. It's almost like I want to call him up and say, why?
You know what? People don't know how to be honest. That's a big part of online dating today, or just any kind of dating today.
Well,
It's
isn't that
can't
just
you just
sad?
be honest? Right.
Well, maybe that's why, though, some of these people are in the situations they're in because they don't know how to be honest, which
Yeah.
is very, very sad because there are so many wonderful, honest people out there that have so much beauty to give.
And I think a lot of people lack communication skills. And
Well,
that's why
yes.
they're online, is they're hiding behind their lack of communication
Well,
skills.
that's why some people can't have a conversation. We were talking about the texting thing. Why would you text instead of speak?
Right.
You know, it's okay to text once in a while. You know, you're in a meeting. You can't actually pick up the telephone, but make a phone call. Make a phone call. Listen to somebody's voice and have a conversation.
And I think that's an age thing. If we ask our young producer over here.
Yeah, no, that is the truth.
Oh, it so is an age thing, because even today with my younger kids, I'll say, did you hear from so-and-so? Say, no, they didn't text me back. I say, well, why didn't you call them? Oh, who calls each other?
Yeah, my
I
kids
know.
are constantly texts. Yeah.
Yeah, even with my 21-year-old, she doesn't pick up the phone and talk to me. She texts me.
Yeah.
How about you? You have something to say?
No, I like talking on the phone, but I usually don't text a lot because the general consensus of my age group is that you just text, you don't call. Like, I'm one of the few kids that will leave voicemails still, and that makes me sound like an ancient person because my friend's like, why are you leaving me a voicemail? No one does that anymore. So, yeah, it gets a little all over the place there.
That is
Texting
funny.
is convenient, though. It is very convenient to just text.
Oh, for sure. I mean, I text a lot for somebody my age. If I'm having a relationship with somebody or I'm attempting to meet somebody, I want to
wanna
have
hear
a
the voice.
conversation.
Yeah, it's definitely better to do that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I would think that's very important. to
And I
hear
have
your voice.
another thing. I have 3 children, so almost 22, almost 28, and almost 34. I get hit on by 29-year-olds or 32-year-olds. Okay, I'm very flattered. So obviously they don't care that my breasts need major support and a bra. That's fine. After 4 children, I get it. But the first question is, would you mind if I sucked your toes?
Oh.
So there's something about the toe thing, or it's a lot. I get that a lot. It's not from the same person. So,
Really?
Yeah, and I don't answer. Yeah.
Ooh, that's interesting.
Yeah, not
Yeah.
after I get a pedicure. Anyway.
Pedicure.
Pedicure time.
Yeah.
But I find it very interesting that much younger men, literally half my age, will reach out to me, and believe it or not, I do answer them back, and I will say, "Very sweet. Thank you very much for the compliment. You made my day." but go home to your mother.
Oh.
No, I don't say it like that. I'm kidding. But I do say thank you very much. I have children your age. It's not a very comfortable situation. And we move on. And then there's the opposite. So what's wrong with this picture, ladies? I get asked to have my toes sucked by a 29-year-old or to go out. Would you meet coffee? I'd like to have some good conversation by a man literally a little less than half my age. And yet the opposite we know happens all the time.
Yes.
There are definitely men who are 60 years old or 55 years old who prefer, for some reason, to have a piece of arm candy, and that's okay. Is there something wrong with society, or are we just brought up in a place where it's just weird? I don't know. What's your thoughts?
You know what? I think women are switching to go with the younger also. If we're not having success with one age group, we tend to bounce around to another age group just to kind of see what's out there. I mean, I've got a friend who is very attractive in her mid-50s, and she doesn't want to date anybody who is that much younger, but yet all the guys that are her age and older are too old for her. I mean, she's young, she's beautiful, she's got great energy, and some of the men that she would want to meet in their proper age are just too old. And so it's that finding that happy medium is difficult.
Age sometimes also is a mindset. You know, you take a 55-year-old man who can either act like a 45-year-old man or a 35-year-old man or a 65-year-old man or a 70-year-old man. I've seen that.
Yes.
You know, so age can definitely be a mindset.
So here we are getting back to this computer dating sites where all these men, and I'm sure women, because obviously I don't look at the women's pages, but I'm sure women say things that make themselves look wonderful
You know, that
as
would
well.
be interesting to look at the women's pages and see what they say.
Well, here's your problem.
true.
When
You
you
know?
do that,
Then
you get
you're
a
lo-
lot of women responding to you, even though, unless you pretend you're a man. So
You'd have to have
Oh,
a
I
fake.
see.
Then it gets into the whole craziness of having to have a
Yeah,
fake
and then
profile.
You can't actually view it
No, now you
without...
become
See, I
catfish.
don't
It's
know.
like, no.
Well,
a
we
good
can
thing.
look at a guy's, but we can
Michael.
look at Michael.
Mike, we're going to have to look at your sites.
So we can check out the women that are on there. We need to know our competition
So
here.
what I think is interesting is I talk to men, like friends of mine, who are on dating sites, people who not necessarily are, you know, we're just dear friends. And I hear from them, and they tell me stories about women who are totally crazy nuts. Stalker girls, and how dare you not call me back? You said you'd call me in 5 minutes, and it's been 7. And I'm
yeah.
sitting there listening, and I'm saying to myself,
You just
oh,
gotta let
dear
that go.
Lord.
Right.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm sure it goes both ways. I mean,
Maybe so.
you and I don't meet stalkers because we don't want to, or we'll delete them quicker than that. We'll figure it out.
How do we know
Well,
they're
you
a stalker?
also-
until
Well,
they're
you
a
know.
stalker?
You
That's
don't
true.
always know. You don't always know, but you basically know, you know, a personality, a certain type of personality, and that obviously doesn't appeal to you.
Do you ever notice that they all say, I'm looking for my soulmate?
Yes, soulmate. That's an
Soulmate.
interesting
Do
topic.
you
Do we
ever-
believe in soulmates?
Yeah, I
do.
Yeah, I do too.
But do
But-
we only have one soulmate? Because I don't
believe-
think
no,
we
no, no,
only
no,
have
no.
one.
No. Soulmates, I believe you have many different soulmates and soul friends, and it's not all about one.
So what's the definition of a soulmate?
A soulmate, I mean, it depends. We can look it up online.
We can ask Siri.
Yeah, we can certainly ask Siri, you know, what
See what
is the
she says.
definition of a
See how
soulmate.
serious Siri really is about soulmates.
Let's try that.
Siri, what is a soulmate?
Okay, give me a moment. Okay, I found this on the web for what is a soulmate.
So Siri says, a soulmate is a person with whom one has a feeling of deep or natural affinity. This may involve similarity, love, romance, friendship, comfort, intimacy, sexuality, sexual activity, spirituality, or compatibility and trust. And there you have it.
I think that's excellent. What do you think, Barb?
Yeah.
I like it too.
What do you think, Michael?
I like it just because I believe I've had like soulmates in the past, and it's compatibility was the best word in there. You know, it's like you fit together. Maybe it's not just one person that fits with you either. You know, there's
Absolutely, you
only
have a
certain
connection.
amount of puzzle pieces that are made in the world, and some of them are exactly the same. So it happens.
And it's interesting because, you know, when we hear or use the word soulmate, we sometimes think that we're looking for just that one person.
Yeah.
But that definition actually says, okay, well, you've can meet many soulmates in your life.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Like
I
true
mean,
love and soulmates do exist. It just doesn't have to be one.
friends. You can be a friend. You can be, it can be romantic. It can just, there's a whole list of different things.
Right. And have you guys ever heard that saying that people come in and out of your lives for a reason, a
Yeah.
season, or a lifetime?
Yeah, for different reasons. Exactly.
And so that kind of goes along that same lines. Is sometimes you meet somebody today and you don't know what that reason, season, or if it's a person for your lifetime until you're actually involved with them for a little while.
Exactly.
If you follow the spiritual world, you've already met that person. You're just here re-meeting them again to either correct or to make the changes going forward.
So the deja vu, right, comes into play as well.
I think that's a different show.
Supposedly, we've all met at some point in past lives. But that's-
Again, another show.
Again, okay.
Okie dokie.
Anyway, getting back to the soulmate thing. So here's my next question then. Where are all these people? If they're online, where were they before there was even online dating out there? Where are they? What did they do?
Well, think
Stay
about
home and barbecue with their friends and drink wine? I mean,
think about what you were doing in the past. Where did
I
you
was
meet people?
married.
Okay, well, you were married. Okay.
Well, I always say that the opportunities change in the future. Like as time goes on, more opportunities have existed, but you can still do the old ways, and you just got to make use of your opportunities to find these people. So in the past, there was different opportunities, and they found them. Now there's new ones, and you're gonna find them.
how do I know my soulmate's not in Australia?
You don't.
You don't.
don't.
You don't.
Yeah.
Exactly.
He could be.
He could be.
Yeah.
This is true. So I'm very what's
Skeptical or?
thank you.
that the
Skeptical.
word?
Yeah. Because you don't know, the world is this big, but you don't know where that person is.
Is
you
or
will know.
isn't.
You will know though if you do meet them. You will know.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah,
that
will
is
happen.
true.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe you need to take a flight to Australia if
I was
that's the
told
way
that.
you think.
Someone
Okay.
told me I needed to go to the Outback, so I looked at them and I said, "Do you mean the restaurant or the real thing in Australia?"
Oh, that's actually a good question because maybe you were going to meet somebody
it was a
at the
great
Outback.
question, and they went the real deal in Australia, and I went, "Okay, I thought I'd spend a lot less money going to the restaurant."
Oh, that's funny.
You got to save a lot of $5 bills for that one.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Well, you should have gone
Meanwhile,
with
I've-
Raymond.
Meanwhile, I've been
He
to
just-
neither. Yeah.
He just came back from Australia.
Well, that's the thing of what Michael said is, you still have those same old avenues. You still have friends that can fix you up. You still have bars. You still have restaurants. But now we have meetup groups. That expands your horizon to be able to get out
Absolutely.
there. I mean, I won't go to a bar by myself. I mean, I'm just not going to do that.
Why would you?
Yeah.
And you know what you would attract if you went
Scariness.
by yourself? Exactly. Scariness.
Right.
Yeah.
So it
women
just gives
showing up
you-
at a bar alone is never a good thing.
No. So it just gives you more opportunities.
But you can be in the grocery store and
Yes.
and the carts click. I mean that happens.
Right. You could be at the
You know?
library. I mean, the grocery
You
store,
could
there's
be
always people.
Anywhere. You could be anywhere at the mall. I mean, whatever.
I once read an article that you need to go to sporting events, like football, hockey, things like that, because men go in groups. A couple of women go in groups. I mean, I don't know what your interest is as far as in the sports
Hopefully you
world.
like sports if you're going to go to a sports
Well,
bar.
right? But even still, you go, like you said, even the market, things like that,
Anywhere.
the laundromat. Who doesn't
Wherever you end up, it doesn't matter if it's meant to be. It's meant
gonna
to be.
happen,
Right.
Exactly.
This is true.
The point is you just can't sit home watching TV because
Well,
then you're not
that's
going to meet
gonna
anybody.
happen. Exactly. Unless somebody breaks down the street from your house and they
That's
happen to choose your door because their phone is dead and they need a phone call. They need to make a phone call.
Yes.
And then
If they don't have a cell phone, you don't want to go out with them.
Yeah, well, their phone could be dead. Their phone could be
Hear that
dead.
part.
They
You're
could
right.
be a minimalist.
Could be.
And not have a car. But then they wouldn't have a car either.
Yes.
They
Get them a
might.
bicycle with a flat tire.
Could you imagine?
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm not going out with you. Yeah, I'll make a call for you though.
Well, all in all, I wish everybody out there all the best when you're online dating. I hope that you do find your
Be careful.
soulmate, your match, your
Be safe.
Tinder, your Bumble, whatever it is that you're looking for. And if you don't,
Keep trying.
keep trying.
Whatever it is,
keep
though.
plugging away.
Be smart. Wasn't that fun?
That was really good. You did a great
was
job.
so
I'm
much
so
fun.
proud of all you guys and gals. You know, that was
But especially me, right?
especially you. And it was a nice reflection of younger women, older women, and much younger men.
Who are you talking? Who are you calling old?
Nobody. Nobody.
Because none of the three of us would like to hear that.
Well, I meant older. Mature.
Older how? Mature how? You better stop. You better stop while you're ahead. Go on.
Well, you know what? I always find relationships interesting.
Very.
Where people are in different levels
Absolutely.
of their age and their relationship. And
Okay.
you know, when you're 20 years old and there's certain things that are important to you in a relationship, and the guy that you are or gal that you're with when you're 20 is not going to be the same when you're with when you're 30, and certainly,
Well, it depends on if you grow together.
of course,
You know? I mean, because the reality is that when I was 20, almost 20, and then almost 30, and then almost 40, and then almost 50, I was with the same guy. And I'm still with that guy.
you know you are an anomaly. They broke the mold
Stop talking about
when
me like that.
they made you.
Yes, I
There
know.
is only one Elise.
I do know that.
Yes, yes.
Thank you so much.
Generally speaking, people change their
Their opinion. They change
And their
they change
tastes.
their taste. Exactly.
Yes, yes. So that being said, how would you react when your partner reveals a kink?
Well, that depends on the kind of kink. For instance, there could be a kink in your hair, or there could be a kink that you want to share in your sex life. So what are you talking about? What kind of kink?
Well, you know, there's a lot of information out there these days, you know, on how to tell your partner about sexual fetishes. And that's what we're talking about, sexual fetishes.
So we're not talking about kinky hair.
No.
Because we could fix that too.
We at Anthony Vincent's on.
Yes, and you know what?
Anthony
If you have kinky hair and you want your hair done and you want it to be silky, straight, and smooth, email us now at trendradio920@gmail.com, and I will give you a $50 gift certificate to help have that kink removed. Now we're talking about kink in our relationship.
Sexual fetishes.
Got it.
And what do you do on the other side of that situation? You know,
What do you mean the other side?
well, what's a great way to react when your partner comes to you with something new and a little more extreme than you're used to?
Well, if you're with your partner and you trust your partner, I say you better damn well go for it.
I told you they throw away the mold when they made you. But, you know, it really, for most people, it's a very delicate situation, especially when they're into something that you're not.
But you know, here's the thing. If you're with this person, how would you not know what they're into? You know, that's the thing. I mean, I understand you don't know everything about your partner, but isn't there a level of trust that's built up?
Yes, but maybe this thing is something you never even heard of.
Okay, well then I would certainly want to sit down with them and discuss it.
Okay.
Don't you think?
Oh, absolutely. And, you know, that's one of the great ways and one of the great things you should do when your partner does reveal a little bit of a fetish.
Okay, well, when that is, you know, I understand that it could be a wide range of different things, mostly, you know, sexual things.
Not always.
Well, with a kink, I would imagine that, you know, if it's kinky, I would imagine that, you know, there's a wide range of sexual games and things and activities that one may be interested in that the other one doesn't know about.
You're absolutely right.
So-
And Kinkly.com defines kink as an umbrella term used to describe a wide range of sexual activities that are considered to be unconventional or a little bit unorthodox.
Well, wow. Okay.
So you're absolutely right.
Okay, so that's what I'm thinking. And I guess I was thinking correctly.
Of course, you
So-
always are.
I love that he does that on the air. But anyway, aside
Yes,
from
Elise, you're always right. I'm usually wrong. I am sorry, and I hope that you can forgive me.
that, don't I always?
You do.
I do, don't I?
Yes, you do.
Quickly too, within moments. Yes, but it's so nice to hear. But anyway, I think that it's important that a discussion would happen because, first of all, you need to know how broad this is going and how wide the range is and how much your partner is expecting of you and exactly what your partner is expecting as well.
That's right. And as you said, the definition is so broad and wide
Well,
because
that's the thing. When it comes to something like that, a fetish or kink, or you don't know where the level is. I mean, it could be as, light as a spanking to being, tied up somewhere. You don't know what's happening. You don't know what it is. You need to know because that depends on, and you need to have a level of trust. Something like this requires a level of trust because, again, a spanking, depending on how hard, is okay. But once you start with bondage and being tied up and all kinds of toys and playful little ideas, something happens and a switch goes on or off and you have to be careful. So you really need to, this is going to require a level of trust.
well, and also
And there needs to be a safe word.
my safe word is don't stop. Keep going. Elise, we really live in a sex negative culture, and a lot of people have kinks that they've kept secret because they fear being seen as a freak.
Well, sure, you don't ever want to be known as freakish.
That's right.
But if you're with somebody and you have a level of trust with this person and you're together, chances are you're not going to be seen as freakish. Hopefully this person loves you and that you can trust them.
That's right. And this doesn't mean that in order to be a good partner, you have to automatically go along with whatever they want to do. No.
No, you don't have to go along with whatever they want. The important thing here is that you share with each other and that you thank your partner for sharing with you, especially when it's something this personal.
Yeah, about their sexuality.
Exactly. And you let them know that whatever it is, it's okay, especially if you love this person.
And especially if you have a negative feeling about the activity.
Yeah. Now, here's the thing. If you don't want to do it, that's okay. You explain to them that you're not ready, you don't want to do it, and, you guys talk about it and start working on it. And if it's something that you never want to do, that's okay too. Explain that to them and then, see where your relationship goes at this point. Because you should never be in a relationship with somebody and do something that you just are not comfortable with. That's just my opinion.
Of course. And sex and relationship coach Charlie Glickman, he's a PhD, he says it isn't easy to share fetishes, especially if they feel a little uncomfortable or embarrassed about it.
I find that to be amazing, though, because I can't imagine if you're involved with somebody and you love them and you're sharing with them, just everyday things like your bank account. I can't imagine that you don't want to share your what your sexual fetishes are.
Not everybody is you, Elise.
Yeah, I know.
And you said it a minute ago. A simple thanks for telling me about that.
I guess you need to kind of sometimes, it could be a lot. Like, remember in Sex and the City? So, Carrie is standing with one of her dates, I don't know, this guy, and he tells her he wants to pee on her. And she's like horrified.
You mean urinate?
Urinate, pee, same thing. Still a yellow stream coming out of the person. And she did not want this yellow stream on her. It's right there in Sex and the City, Carrie Bradshaw, right there. And she was horrified by it. Not everybody can handle something like that.
But you know what? It showed his value that he shared it. You know, even if she didn't want to do it, he
Right.
still shared it with her.
She didn't go out with him again.
Oh, see, that's not necessarily.
She wasn't into the golden shower. So he took a shower and left.
Okay.
And that's what happened.
Okay. So that's not a good reaction. That's a bad one. You know, just remember it was probably really, really hard for him to work up the guts to tell her what he was into. And
It's possible. It's
Yeah.
possible, but whatever it was, she wasn't into it. But that's okay.
right, she's probably terrified.
That was Sex in the City.
Yeah.
You know,
I don't know. I never
maybe
asked.
she just didn't want to get anything on her Manolos. Just saying.
Mm-hmm.
Those shoes, you know, all of her shoes were so nice. She didn't want them to be stained.
You know, your partner could probably be terrified, you know, that you'd be disgusted or that you'd shame them or
Exactly.
you'd laugh in their face. So
Exactly.
at least don't do any of those things.
No. I really think that what you need to do is listen, understand them, realize that you do love this person regardless of what they're saying.
That's right.
And just let it soak in. Let it soak in.
You're talking about the urine?
No, I'm
pee?
not talking about anything like that. I'm talking about what your partner wants to do. Let it soak in. Discuss it again. Don't go right into it. Have a glass of wine. Let it soak in. And then if you're not comfortable with it, go back to your partner and say, "Look, I love you, but I'm just not comfortable with this."
Right. And also, you know, it's totally understandable, Elise, if you have an immediate unthinking reaction like laugh, giggle, or, you know, your chin hits the floor.
Well, I guess it depends on what he or she is saying.
That's right. But if that happens, it's important to apologize immediately.
Right,
and
because this
move
is your
on.
innermost. See, this is your partner's innermost secret.
That's right.
Innermost feeling. And you definitely don't want your partner to feel shameful.
Yes, and you actually, a few moments ago, had some really good responses, you know, instead. And when something that you could do, when you hear the kink, is say, sure, why not? You know, some kinks like bondage, you know, they've become pretty common. And
Yeah, I think mostly everybody would be okay with that. I don't think, though, that you should. I mean, sure, why not is great. But if you're really uncomfortable, then, you know, sure, I'd love to try it with you, but just not today. I really need to think about it.
that's right.
You know, and something like that I think might be a little bit better. And then, you know, maybe you need to talk about it a little bit more.
And if, you know, if their kink doesn't really sound that crazy, go for it.
Well, sure, if it doesn't sound so crazy, that's great. If it sounds, you know, you never know, it might just be a fun thing.
That's right. And if you're open, hey, sounds fun. Let's do it. You know, the best scenario, your partner's kink is probably something you fantasized about too, and your only
Well, you hope
reaction
so.
should be excitement. No, that's if you've fantasized about and never said anything to your partner.
Yeah, then you would be excited about it. Exactly.
That's right. Go have some fun. And you know, you had said this, and you said it very, very well. You know, I'm not sure I could do that, but I could do this instead.
And that shows right there that you're not making fun of whatever it is your partner wants to do, and that you're willing to do something. You're just not comfortable with that yet.
That's right. And, you know, if you can't see yourself doing the exact thing that your partner is interested in, you know, figure out what you do think you could do and suggest that instead.
And that's a great idea.
Like maybe, you know, I don't like the idea of handcuffs, but, you know, that silk tie of yours, I might enjoy that.
That's good.
You know?
That's good.
And, you know, maybe you still need a little more time to think about it. And
So ask for it.
yeah. There's absolutely nothing wrong with needing some time to think about how you
just
feel.
say, hey, you know what? I love you, but can I have a little bit more time to think about it?
That's right. You know, especially, you know, if it's something that you think is coming out of left field.
And sometimes some of that kink does come out of left field.
Yes, it does. It's like, even myself, it's like, I've never heard of that one before. Tell me a little bit more about it.
Exactly.
What was the that movie 50 Shades, or the book 50 Shades of Grey? Half of that stuff in there I never heard of, but the women went crazy over that book. And a great way to become more comfortable with the kink you've never considered before is doing a little bit of research.
Yes. Google.
That's right.
Google it. Or if you'd like, ask me. I have no problem telling you anything. trendradio920@gmail.com. And if you have questions that you're afraid to ask, but we will give you the answer, definitely email us and I will send you a $50 gift certificate to Anthony Vincent Salon. Just like that.
That's right. Elise is a know-it-all. She.
Hey, if I don't know it, I Google it.
That's right. She knows how to figure it out. She knows how to do it, and she knows why your partner likes it. So.
Oh wow, good. Thank you.
You're welcome. So you get totally bonus points for being willing to learn more about what your partner is interested in, even if at the end you decide it's not really for you.
Right, and that's great. Here's one though. I think that here's something that we forgot to say. Sometimes somebody might be turned on by something that just really kind of turns you off. You don't have to say, that you're turned off. Just let your partner know, I'm really not turned on by that, but I'm turned on by you.
Oh, I like that one.
So I can try that for you because you turn me on, and then just see where it goes.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
You're right. Your partner may not enjoy certain sex acts that give you pleasure.
Sure, but they enjoy you.
That's right.
And so that's what's really important.
You're right. That's the glue of a relationship.
Absolutely.
Giving and receiving.
Well, you know as well as I do, where is your turn on point?
Mm-hmm.
Where is it?
In your brain, between your ears.
Between your ears, exactly.
That's right.
So it really doesn't matter. If you are turned on by somebody, that's where it happens first.
That's right. And for those people out there, I just want to point out that your biggest organ on your body is your skin.
Oh, yeah, your skin. I forgot
right.
about the skin.
But getting back, sex is about giving and receiving pleasure.
Absolutely. No ifs, ands, or buts about it.
That's right. And no one should do anything that will leave them curled up in a ball, crying on the floor. But
yeah, because, if your partner's kink leaves you feeling kind of yucky.
or blah.
Yeah. But if they are super turned on by it, then you might want to just try it out for them. And this way, you get it over and done with. They see that you love them, and you do, and it makes everybody happy.
And also, if, you might find that you're turned on by them
being turned on.
That's right. And in that case, the act itself doesn't even matter anymore.
Exactly. But if your partner suggests something that you really don't like, or that you've actually had unpleasant experiences with before, and you really just don't want to do it, that's okay. Just be honest and tell them why.
That's right. A friend of mine got married, and during their dating and their relationship period, everything was wonderful with this couple and they were getting along well. So they finally got married, and on their honeymoon, she says to him, I don't really like doing that. And he was shocked. He was flabbergasted. And he said to her, you couldn't tell me this before we said I do? I think that was very, very unfair. And,
boy.
that could change the way a man feels about marriage. I mean, his total life. I mean, it's awful. So sometimes kinks just don't match up.
Nope.
And that's fine. If your partner has revealed the kink that you are 100%, no question, no way, no how,
Never doing.
can participate in, just gracefully decline. And just remember to keep the shame and disgust out of your voice and off your face.
Yes, try, because I know for me, that would be very, very difficult. I have one of those faces that everybody knows what I'm thinking. So it's very difficult. So try your best to not be disgusted.
Personally, I just find another girlfriend.
Well, this could be years into your relationship. And so you really want to be able to find a resolution there because you have a good connection and you trust each other. Sometimes there's something that's happening or something that is needed, and that's okay. That's where other parts of your relationship expand and trust happens. So, if your partner needs something that you just can't give, but everything else is fantastic, maybe you have to open your relationship and open your mind just a little bit so that he or she could have this little bit of extra that they need. For instance, you could say something like, I really don't think I can do this with you, but maybe we can talk about you finding somebody else to do it with.
Like other people?
Like another person, depending on what it is that they're doing.
Oh.
You know?
Oh.
See, you have to understand that sometimes people are into things that you just don't understand or want to be a part of. But, you know, for better or for worse, you're with your partner and, you know, we have to figure out how we can do that and still grow together, unless you're growing apart, unless there are other issues too. But if this is the only thing that happens in your relationship, then there is a quick fix for it.
So if your partner's kink is something that you're not into, but you're open to non-monogamy, you know, or you just want your partner sexually satisfied, even if that means you're not the one satisfying them, then maybe
And there are other options to explore.
Yeah. You know, there might be clubs in your area catering to those type of things, you know, or if you're just looking for a place to start, there's a website called Fet Life, and you know, that's an option for connecting with like-minded people.
Right.
You know, sometimes relationships do get a little boring, and kink might be the answer. But
Might be.
if kink isn't for you, and sometimes you need to do something a little different and something a little more to get excited about,
And a little bit more togetherness.
and mainstream.
Okay, mainstream.
Alrighty, so here's something that you can do and get excited about for fall. You might want to go pumpkin picking.
I love pumpkin picking
Yeah,
and apple picking, and I like picking anything.
That's right.
anything at all. I love walking around in the pumpkin patch. I loved it. We went a couple of weeks ago. Oh my God, it was just so much fun. And the apples were just delicious.
And I have to tell you, pumpkin and apple picking isn't exactly at the top of every guy's to-do list.
Oh my God, it's so much fun, and you love it because you get to eat all the apples.
As you're
and then
picking
you
them.
get pumpkin pie and apple pie, and what are you talking about? You love it.
And, you know, it's nice to know that in the fall that, you know, once September, October, November roll around, that, you know,
It's all the greatest food.
that's right.
And you keep yourself warm, wrapped up in woolly scarves. Oh, and nice sweaters. Oh, it's lovely.
And it's a cute little date. And,
Absolutely.
And at right now it's a little late
Do you
for
know?
pumpkin
I have
picking.
to tell you, I know somebody who. This was so great. This couple, they were looking for something to do, and they went. It was a little soggy because it had just rained, and they were all wrapped up in their nice fall garb, and they looked great, and they were going apple picking, and they fell in the apples, and it turned out to be quite a nice little romp in the apples. Yeah.
Well, you know, the apples kind of get very very fragrant. And you know, today just might be the last weekend for apple picking. Making apple wine.
Oh my God, cider.
That's right.
Love it. And you can do it all together.
I just recently went apple picking with my grandnephew and my sister.
Yeah. And I'll bet that was a lot of fun.
My
He's
niece.
so
It was
freaking
a lot of
cute,
fun.
Noah.
And if anybody wants to see the pictures of when we went apple picking, and you want to meet my grandnephew, we have pictures on our bulletin board. And you can come and see what everybody looks like and how many apples we picked. And, you know, another interesting thing is in the fall, is not getting really sweaty. You know, and at first glance, it might not even seem like a big deal, but, you know, this beautiful, brisk fall weather means that you could spend more time outside. You can walk around holding hands through Princeton when you're going out for coffee. And, you know, and whether it is, you know, virtually perfect for whatever kind of date you want to do.
I think holding hands in Princeton and coffee is a perfect afternoon.
Yeah, I think so too. And what about the football games? All right.
Nothing like
if you
football.
don't both love football games count as a date.
Yes, it does.
And if you both love football, then your next couple of Sundays are really already planned. You know, personally, I'd rather go to the mall for coffee. And don't forget, it's cuddling weather. No more arguing over how close you're sleeping next to one another. You're not waking up covered in sweat, or you're not fighting for the thermostat.
I love to cuddle.
Fall is cuddling weather. And if one of you is cold, you just get another blanket.
Wrap yourself up.
Now, you've been listening to Trend Radio, where we talk about what's hot every Saturday morning at 10 a.m. And do you want more? Go right to our website, 920thejersey.com. Click on demand and scroll directly to us.
And get the lowdown on getting down. Tune into your bad boy inside you.
Or your bad girl.
Listen each week. We always have something sexy to say. Got questions? Email us now at trendradio920@gmail.com. You'll be glad you did.
And remember, your smile is your logo. Your personality is your business card.
But how you make people feel, well, that becomes your trademark.
I'm Anthony Vincent.
And I'm Elise.
And we'll talk to you next week.
Bye for now.